Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another edition of Sporting160EN. This one being podcast number 10. Hope everyone is doing well over these past, couple hectic days that we as Spartan fans have had to endure. I am here uh, with the same old group. My homies, I got Steph. Steph, how are you doing today?
Hey, it's I'm doing okay. It's kind of a sad day for me. Well, the past few days, but we'll survive. So
hmm
let's get it going on.
Absolutely. Danny, and we have Danny as well. Danny, how are you doing?
What's up, bro? I'm all right. Sad as fuck too, but we'll get through this.
And we have a special guest today. We have Fernando Nando, as he goes by on Twitter. How are you doing, my man? How's everything?
Hey man, I first and foremost I appreciate all of you guys for giving me the invite. I love what you guys are doing, and I really do truly appreciate it. In regards to how I'm doing, just like all of you guys, I'm torn. I'm devastated. I'm a little broken, a little shooken up, but like Sporting and how we are, we're gonna keep pushing through.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And before we dive into everything, we want to get to know you a little bit more. So it's a little segment that we do when we do bring fans on. So we're gonna ask you a couple of questions, kind of like on the hot seat type
Yeah,
thing.
absolutely.
So the first one I have for you is, what got you into Sporting, man? What made you a Sportingista?
Oh man, that is gonna be attributed solely, first, foremost, and forever to my dad. My dad has and is a Sporting fanatic. He loves this team. Sometimes I think more than he loves me as a son. So, and
True.
I can't be
I
mad
have
about
that
it,
same
man. I
problem,
just
bro.
love
Don't worry.
exactly. I can't be mad about it. I wouldn't want it any other way. And just growing up, he always just went about Sporting and soccer differently. I think we can all say that as Sportingistas, rather than push our ideals on others and rather than try to get other people to love us or understand us like some of our rivals, we are who we are. We do what we do. We try to do it, what I want to say, the right way. He was the same way. I thought it was cool. Surrounded by a lot of Benfica, friends and family, and I thought it was super cool and super brave that he just decided to go that route.
Absolutely, man. That's awesome. Awesome. Good stuff to hear. And another question for you. Who's your favorite sporting player of all time?
Ah, man, that's tough. I'm gonna say right off the bat, I'm gonna say Sapinto.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm
he's
gonna I'm
he's
gonna
up
have to
there.
say Sapinto, or it's a hot Sapinto or like a Beto.
Okay.
To be honest with you, man, I've always respected kind of Sapinto's life and how he kind of rough upbringing, rough
hmm
moments in his career, but I think he symbolizes what it is to be Corazon de Leon, to be that passion, that true captain that I think a lot of us have been reading a lot about lately. If Sporting needs that true captain, and I just loved watching him and just what he brought to the table.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Love that answer. I actually had the luxury of meeting him a couple years back and got his autograph when he came
That's
up to
that's
Ladio,
awesome, man.
which was freaking fantastic. Yeah. And the last question I have for you, what's the last game, last Sporting game you went to?
That was Sporting at home against Porto to start. Was it to start the season or no? Like 2 years ago, where we won 2-1. I
Was
was in
that for the
Portugal.
Taça game?
No, no, that's for the
No,
league.
No,
no,
That
it
that
was
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 the
for
for
the
the
league.
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 It was the
It
I
was
league.
like
think.
the
Oh,
third game, I
oh, oh,
think.
oh.
Yeah,
Yes,
so the
yes,
third game, yeah, because they don't do the
Yeah.
first two games. It was
yes.
Slimani and I think Gelson who scored. Porto was winning 1-0.
Yep. And then we came back.
Justin, yeah,
Matter of fact, I was just watching some highlights of me and my dad flicking off Porto fans in the stadium.
yeah.
That's always a great time.
So yeah, man, that was it.
Fair enough, man. I love the answers. That's awesome. Um, so guys, let's get into it and let's dive in to the game that we had. Not sure if you guys remember it. It wasn't anything spectacular, but it was against Maritimo, and we all knew how important this game really was for us in hopes of at least getting into the Champions League playoff. Unfortunately, we ended up losing 2-1. The lineup that we had was Rui Patricio at goal, Pacini at right back, Watts at center back, Mateu as the other center back, Coentrão on the left, William and Bataglia in the midfield, Bruno Fernandes, Acuna, Gelson in the attack, and then Bastos as the lone striker up top. Steph, I'm going to start with you on this one. What happened, man? give me your thoughts on the game.
Well, I'm going to tell you. What I think as a fan. Not an expert, but Piccini shouldn't have played at all. Vitovsky was playing phenomenal. I have no clue why Jorge Jesus would put in Piccini out of rhythm. Piccini's been great. Don't get me wrong; he's one of my favorite players, but he had no business to be on the starting 11 of such an important game that we needed to win. Just in case if Benfica won at home against Moreirense, which they did anyway. Then another player that shouldn't have been on the pitch, it was William Carvalho. I know he's a great player, but again, he was out for a whole month because due to injury. So we had Battaglia and Ruiz playing phenomenal together for a few games. So why would you fuck up the chemistry? It goes beyond my imagination. They were doing great together, and I think those two players, those changes were significant in my point of view. Again, also, if we need to win, why not play on a 4-4-2? Why not play with two strikers from the get-go? I know we don't have good solutions on the bench. But if we play Bas Dost and Montero from the get-go because we needed to win, that was the last game of the season, for God's sake. We needed that win. So stop playing the Italian way when you're Portuguese. What the hell? You should have played with two strikers, my point of view. With a 4-4-2, it would have been golden. Put Maritimo against the wall, and we would still have a strong midfield with four midfielders. And that's why we lost the game. William Carvalho, he missed a lot of passes, and I'm not going to say criticize him in a negative way, but it's not his fault really. He's been off sync. He hasn't played for a whole month. What do you expect? You expect him to wake up all of a sudden and acquire rhythm while he's sleeping? It's not like that. It takes time. So that's what I really think why we lost. And then crossing. I didn't see any deadly crosses towards Bas Dost. It was just they were just crossing with no intention. And when you cross the ball just by crossing it with no intention, we're never going to find our striker. And he was lonely. It was only Bas Dost inside the box. He scored a goal, but he can't resolve all the Sporting problems. And that's it. And the Frank Patricio, sincerely, I don't blame it at all. I would never crucify Rui Patricio. He saved our butts the whole season. And let's not forget that it was already in the overtime. It was 90+2. So it wouldn't have made any difference. We would have tied the game, and Benfica won at home. So it wouldn't have made any difference if we tied the game. So blaming Rui Patricio, it's dangerous. It's foolish. And he doesn't deserve that, Rui Patricio. We could have won the game way before the 90 minutes, and we didn't. And we didn't. And let's be honest, we didn't create a lot of chances of goal. We didn't. And I blame this one on JJ, and also some players, not all of them, didn't show any emotions and didn't give it all. It was like, damn, this is the most important game of the season. And it doesn't seem like certain players, I'm not going to say names. Don't ask me for names because I won't. I'm not going to add more fuel into the this fire. This the whole mess we have in our hands. But to finish it up, all I have to say is I've seen some players give more, and I didn't see that in this game against Maritimo. And that's when we needed them the most. And I'll tell you why. Because we pissed away around 24 million euros. And we had a golden opportunity to cripple Benfica as far as finances for the next season. So now we gave them, again, what, like we say in Portuguese, balão de oxigênio. So they qualified for the playoffs of the Champions League. They will get all that cash. Well, they still have to win and get into the group stage, but they'll get some cash now. And we got relegated. I'll say relegated because we had the second place in our hands to the Liga Europa. So, and we could have our foot right on their throat. And again, we choked, and Benfica didn't. They won at home. And I don't want to hear vouchers and emails and need to pay this, because this one was on us. It was nothing to do with the corruption from Benfica or whatever. So, very sad day. I've seen Sporting play better, and they should have played better against Maritimo. And that's all I got to say.
Fair enough. Danny, give me your take on the game and your whole aspect.
Yeah, similar to Steph's. The only thing I disagree on Steph is I think the lineup was fine the way he had it, barring well, I'll get into Piccini in a bit, but the lineup was full strength. It was definitely our strongest lineup. So he went with every intention to win this game, and respect to Jorge Jesus for that. Where I think Jorge Jesus messed up was first Piccini not coming off earlier. He was struggling since the first half, and he only came off in the 80th minute, which is ridiculous to me. Second, when he took off Coentrão to put in Brian Ruiz, we've seen the last 2-3 months, basically since William's been gone, and Ruiz just sort of adapted to that spot. We've seen him play in the midfield as an 8. He doesn't have the legs anymore for a winger, and he was shining in the midfield as an 8 because he has great ball control. He has, he passes the ball very well. He throws them on the wing. So Acuña's attacking on the wing basically by himself. He has nobody really to help him. Ruiz is really there, but he's not really helping him, especially tracking back. He's not going to help him. So our left flank is pretty open. On the right flank, again, like I mentioned, Piccini was injured since like the 20th minute from a hard tackle on Maritimo. No substitutions whatsoever. Throughout the game, Bruno Fernandes told Jorge Jesus, made a look towards the bench with with his hand saying sub him off. Quach did the same thing. Only in the 80th minute did he come off, which is way too late. Our wings, which is our strongest point, were like dead. There was nothing going for us on the wings against Maritimo. And then of course Maritimo, they're a solid team in the back. They know how to defend well. I mean, I was surprised we scored right after their goal, which, by the way, came from a needless foul from Coentrão, a stupid foul from Coentrão against a team that most of their goals, I don't know the percentage off the top of my head anymore, but I think it was something like 20 or 25 or something like that % of their goals come from set pieces. They're the strongest team in the league on set pieces. Why are you giving away stupid fouls? I didn't, and then of course the frango, it happens. Rui Patricio sort of started his career at Sporting with frangos. It looks like he's going to finish his career at Sporting after this game, or after Jamor, with frangos. So I mean, it's whatever. But the players, all of the players, because no matter how many put the effort in, all of the players, they failed their objective. Against Benfica, and especially against Maritimo, a team we should have beaten. A team at home we beat 5-0. There was, William did all right in the midfield, but it wasn't enough. He didn't have a lot of help. Battaglia did all right, but it wasn't enough. Like I said, I think Christovski, if you didn't start, that's fine. Pacini's our best player. Christovski should have got subbed in. I'm okay with the Brian Ruiz substitution to help out the midfield, but it's to put it in the midfield. It's not for Coentrão to make our left side even more open, even more vulnerable. It's for either William or Battaglia in my opinion, it should have been Battaglia. That way, William and Ruiz can really help the midfield by holding ball, by passing the balls better. Or if you want to go balls out like he did, you put in Monteiro and Dumbia, but you don't go with the same ideas we were going for. Why are we crossing the ball when we have two tiny strikers and one big guy? Dumbia has pace. Monteiro has pace. Fuck, we could have even put somebody else up top. If we're gonna play the long ball, put up André Pinto to win up headers too. If we're gonna play that way, don't put
Danny,
strikers that aren't gonna win headers.
Danny, I'm sorry to cut you, but putting Dumbia or putting an orange cone is the same shit.
That's what I mean.
It makes no difference.
Listen, that's why I said you can put Ruiz, or if you want, okay, I agree, but you have to put some sort of striker on. You know what I mean?
Eu punha o Paulinho. Olha.
Well, at least you know that he's going in it with all.
But exactly, yeah, exactly. Well, that's my opinion. I think Jorge Jesus didn't do enough. We didn't change enough. We were too boring. The substitutions were all wrong. And the biggest and most evident point was Piccini played 80 minutes struggling. On the 20th minute, you can clearly see he's hurt or he's not himself. He has simple touches, go out for a throw-in. He should have seen that earlier, and he should have subbed him off right away, right in the beginning of the second half. I don't understand what was in his mind.
But that's why it drove me fucking nuts having a healthy right fullback on the bench
who's in good form.
And playing well. And then you take him off to put Piccini hurt. Oh, Pamil, Deus do céu.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, Fernando, give me your take, my man.
Guys, so I'm in between exactly what Steph and Danny have said in terms of a few things there. I want to start with how Danny finished that by saying that we played predictable, we played boring. That's indicative of how Sporting has played practically the whole season, in my opinion. In my opinion, Sporting has done that almost the whole year. Some flashes here or there, some brilliant moments here or there. But Jorge Jesus has played the same way. I mean, it's gotten to the point where us as fans can sit here with our eyes closed. All we need to know is who's hurt and who's not, and we know who's going to come in at what time. And
essentially,
what he did with Piccini, I think it's a complete disrespect to not only the player but the fans. When you have your actual players telling you, like, this guy's got to go, he cannot go a full 90 and plus, and he refuses to sub him. I don't know why. I don't know what was his motive. I don't know if he got in a fight with Rivstovski, but for lunch, I don't know. But the point is, the guy had to come off. He couldn't give any more, and he delayed. And when you delay that long, usually good things don't happen. My other big issue was the fact that he decided, and this is something that Steph started off with, he decided to come in with William Carvalho, who we know has all the talent in the world, who has, como disse em português, enche o estádio, right? He can play soccer. We know his talents, but he has not been playing. He's not there, I think, both physically and mentally. Emotionally and mentally. I think that William has been reading the tweets and reading the Instagram posts. I think William has been getting hammered, and in some cases, rightfully so, from a few weeks back and after the Atletico Madrid game. And I think that following that, he just has not been there. And to start, in my opinion, and again, much more important than even is the Final de Taça de Portugal, you know that you need to win this game because, like Steph said, you need the opportunity at millions for multiple reasons, for us and to hurt our direct rival. You're going to put a man in who's not mentally there, physically there, emotionally there. And the last thing is the fact that at left back, as much as I have personally loved Coentrão all year and what he brings to the table, the man can't do 90 minutes. I mean, he just took himself out of the World Cup. He, for the most part, can give you 60-ish. And to think that he was going to give you the perfect 60 minutes or so, and to think that that game was just going to be the perfect game, everybody was going to give their utmost best, I think is naive of Jorge Jesus. I think it's showing that he's not there mentally and emotionally to pick up on the players and how they're feeling and how the morale of a team is. And I'm sick and tired. I don't know about you guys, but I'm sick and tired of watching Coentrão come out and seeing a guy like Acuna have to play that whole left side.
Yeah.
I'm getting real tired of watching that man having to run back and forth, and then we complain as fans that we can't get a decent crossing from the left side or the right side for that matter. So those three players, those three situations, I think we all touched up on it. I agree with both of you. I'm just baffled that a coach with that kind of experience is so out of tune with where the team is and the players are mentally. And you would think that he would be, because he should be, he's the coach, that's the number one guy that understands what these guys are thinking and feeling and this, that, and the other. But he didn't, and we missed out. We did. We had 2 games, if you count the Benfica game before, to get 3 points to solidify this, put ourselves in a position to go to the Champions League. We didn't. Just like Steph said, it's not about topeiras and emails and vouchers. It's about Sporting, and we screwed up. And that pisses me off. That pisses me off because it's at that point right now where I don't know if you guys agree or not. I know my dad and I talk about it. You just kind of start to expect the worst. You start to expect
that
little bit of bad luck,
Yes. I agree with you because
I can count with my fingers how many games we've had that could sit down and drink a beer like in a peaceful way. Everything had to be until the last minute, you know. And I feel you. I feel the same way. Yep.
Even against Olympiacos, 3-0 up, we had to panic right towards the end.
Exactly. Man. You just know that Sporting is going to have that Sporting royal fuck-up moment, and you just know that someone's going to do something. Some penalty call is going to be called. Someone is going to do that one thing that we're just like, this can't keep happening year after year after year, which if you add up equals 16 years.
Yes.
Now, I'm not going to say 16 years are all our fault, but the vast majority are. And we sit here and we say to ourselves, all right, there's always next year, and there's always next year. And we don't deserve that as fans. And what the club is and who we are, the founders and so forth, it's frustrating. It's deflating.
Yeah, it is. I mean, let's not forget about the most recent game against Bulnes. We winning 3-0. They tied the fucking game, and we barely won 4-3. So I don't know if you guys recall that game.
There's so many like that, to be honest. So many.
Yeah, that was the most. That was the most recent.
That was another recent one. Yeah.
I think it says enough that we can sit here and literally drink a couple copos, and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, you remember that one game on this day, on this weekend when we could have, but we didn't."
Yeah, I think it's the mentality of this team, and that's like this is like a generation thing. It's more than just the coach though, because this has been going on for years.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I joking around tweeted before like, Sporting, don't Sporting this up, and I mean it's just because like we've been used to this. We've been used to Sporting bottling things. We've been used to losing 3-1 at home in a Europa League final in 2005. Like this goes way back. I don't know if it's like just a mentality thing or that maybe these players can't handle the pressure.
But I don't know if you guys remember reading that news, whether fake or not, about that Benfica guy who, the Bruxeria dude. And I'm thinking to myself, like, who did we piss off so bad, right? Who did we anger and ruin their marriage and everything that they had going that put a curse on us that all these bad things happen when they happen, and it's just the Sporting thing happened. And it's the culture, and I think a lot of that has to do with previous presidents. Not so much coach, in my opinion, because if we go that route, I mean, Jorge Jesus was coming from I would say, a really relatively positive and successful tenure at Benfica.
Bicampeão. He was bicampeão when we got him.
2 finals of the Europa League, losing how they lost in penalties and in overtime. Losing at the 92nd minute to Porto. Like, this man could very well have been 3-time champions in Portugal with 2 times Liga Europa champion, right? So I think we did the thing in terms of like, man, let's bring in a guy who's a winner and let's bring in a guy who knows how to do it the Portuguese way and in the media. But then it's like, I'm sure we'll talk about it. Then it's like, what other exterior factors have led for that not to come to realization?
Mm-hmm. No, I agreed. But we can't always blame, A, B, and C when we see the poor performances.
Well, here's
you know what I mean. I agree that maybe some corruption was going on at some level, but at the same time, you saw yourself that Sporting at some times were not playing at full capacity, and the last game against Maritimo. That was the case, for example.
Yeah.
So let's move on, guys, because we a little push for time, and we got a lot more to cover on the show. My quick take on it. I mean, I'm pretty much piggybacking off you guys. I agree. I saw too much indirect football. I don't like it. I hate playing that way. Too many long balls. Yeah, sure, we had possession, but I can't really think of when we really made these clear chances. So that's my whole thing on the game. I thought it was embarrassing, pathetic, and shameful, which now leads us to the next segment, guys. And we hit it a little bit on JJ. Should he stay or should he go? Now, Danny, I remember you were just saying, about the culture and how that's been happening for years. But at the same time, when you're the new manager, when you coach, like JJ, for example, he was supposed to be the guy that won us the title. He was supposed to come in and change the culture, and he really didn't. Other than that first year, ever since then, it's just been downhill. So I think he is a lot to blame because he was supposed to come in and change the culture, but that really hasn't happened. I mean, yeah, we've won, cups and we've stayed competitive in the league, but ultimately the league is what us, the fans, want. So my question to you guys is, should JJ stay or should JJ go? Fernando, I'm going to let you hit this one first. Give me your take.
Man, it's right now I'm kind of going at it almost on a day-to-day basis, and that's how sad it is for me. Part of me says it's obvious time to go. You can't make, what do they say, 7.5 million or 8 million euros, regardless if it's one or the other. It's way too much money for what kind of return on the investment we have received. Right. But on the other hand, I say, wow, man, I'm so sick and tired of the Vercautrens and the Paulo Sergio's trials from Paz Ferreira and all these other guys who we decided to give them a little stepping stone in their career to come to Sporting and hopefully pull off a José Mourinho or a one of those guys.
Well, I think we just lost them. Steph, are you still with me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. I think we just lost Danny and Fernando. Not exactly sure what happened. So same question to you, Steph.
I'm back, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know what that was.
Oh, you're good. All right, there you go. So go ahead. Continue, man.
Yeah, that bounced on me. I don't know how that happened. So when you're looking at that kind of situation and those guys and what Sporting has tried in the past, I think Jorge Jesus is expected to do more. The salary expects him to do more. He hasn't delivered. His first year was, in my opinion, brilliant. I think there was a lot of factors there that don't have to do with Sporting that we can discuss, that reasons why we didn't win.
Hey, nice ceiling, by the way.
Oh. Appreciate it. No, you're welcome, it, man. I don't even know. There we go. That's my favorite ceiling in the house. And he hasn't delivered in that case. But on the other hand, he has shown some potential. I think that if Sporting, and I don't think that's going to be the case, had the ability to sit down with him and say, listen, man, just like they do in American sports, restructure his deal and say, you need to take a pay cut. I think that I say, yeah, let the man stay. Let the man work for his money. But I don't think that's the case. I think he's just worn out his welcome. I think fans are over it. Fans are tired, and he's getting paid way too much for too little.
Absolutely. Steph, give me your take. Should he stay or should he go?
Ooh, JJ?
Yeah, JJ.
He was given enough time to win us a championship. Let's not forget how much he makes. He makes $4 million. He didn't deliver. And again, not everything we can blame on other clubs. And he was giving enough tools. He got to pick his team. He got to pick the players. This year, the preseason, the planning of the plantel of our squad was poorly done, as we could see. He should have kept Dalla 1 point instead of Doumbia. Doumbia should have been the one going to another club, loan to another club, not Dalla. I don't know if Dalla would have made any difference, but no, he should go, definitely. We gave him enough time to actually win more than a Supertaça and a Cup League. And perhaps a Taça Portugal, but I'm not even certain that I don't know if we'll win or not, to tell the truth. I've just been practicing in their stadium, peacefully, and we have all this stuff going on. The players, must be, pretty depressed and scared and
exhausting, man. I feel like it's just exhausting. It takes a toll on them. And
lack of motivation. So I don't know what to expect for Sunday. We'll find out like the first 10 minutes, like we'll have a good feeling of what's going on with our team. But in regard to JJ, no, he should go. I've said that several times. He's got ele tem uma cabeça dura, meu. He doesn't listen to anybody. He likes to do his own thing. The subs, sometimes he does it too late. This game, it's fresh in my mind, so I'll talk about it again. But Piccini shouldn't have played. He was hurt. Everybody could see it. Even Piccini's mom from Italy, she sent a text message. I'm only kidding. But we had... I
didn't know you had her number too, bro. I thought that was just me.
Yeah. But William Carvalho, like our good guest said, he shouldn't have played either. Mentally, emotionally, physically, he was not there. Why play William Carvalho? when he was walking his dog when our team was playing. People don't forget that. Sporting fans, they have a good memory, and we clearly remember things like that. So, yeah, JJ is done. He's going to Allah Ali, apparently. So, God bless him. E que vai com as putas.
Yeah.
Here's Boas putas.
Hey,
I'm the same way, man.
If you guys give me like 2 seconds, I want to say this, man, about that comment you just made at the end about who he's going or with. I don't know if you guys just read that article where they said that he was going to potentially just ride out his contract at Sporting, whether or not they could reach an agreement. I think if that becomes the case, then I think Sporting has to have him coach the team. We can't have a guy making what he makes sitting there collecting a paycheck for a whole year just because of spite. That's just my take on that.
But apparently,
I agree.
I'm not gonna give out my source, but apparently he's done. Apparently, we'll find out after the Taça de Portugal.
Good,
but he seems like he's done. I don't know anything. I'm not a.
Personally, I know we're gonna get into it later, but I think like everyone is done. That's Sporting.
Yeah, I don't even know how many players we'll have left.
It's a yard sale. It's gonna be a yard sale this summer.
I hate to say it, but I agree with you because what happened when we'll talk about it in a little while, but what happened at Kid Me was embarrassing.
Yep, absolutely. Danny, real quick, JJ in or out?
Just quickly, I'm cool with him staying. Like Fernando said, I think he should be out just because the minimum objective of Champions League, not even Champions, but of Champions League, wasn't met, and it was lost in that way. I think even though we've had a good season, a decent season, he should be out. But I wouldn't mind him staying one more season, finish his contract. This team is in his mold. Let's not forget Benfica. In 14 days, he lost everything, stayed on, and won everything the next year. So I'm indifferent towards it, but I think he should leave.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm the same way. I think he should go. I think he should have been gone, but it is what it is. Now I'm hitting up Twitter for some Twitter questions, and since we are on the JJ subject at hand, we have a question from Dylan at Dylan G Mendonia. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. And he asks, is this the end of JJ? And obviously we got that. We pretty much all agreed that he should get the boot. And if he does get the boot, who do you guys give me one or two names that you guys would like to see come in? If you were the president of Sporting, who would you go out to grab as coach?
I'll say
Steph,
I'll go first because I'm the oldest one, and also my sign is virgin. No, I'm only kidding. Rui Jorge.
I am a virgin. I'm kidding.
Danny, you look beautiful, by the way.
Thanks, bro. I just left the call for some reason. I don't know why.
So I would say Rui Jorge.
That's a good one.
From the sub-21 squad.
Yeah. Danny, what about yourself?
Epa, estavas lindo, estavas.
If we're staying within the league, I want Silhas. If I can dream, it's Unai Emery. If I'm being realistic, we're probably going to get Cardoso or Rui Jorge. I wouldn't mind either or the, but to be honest, but Silhas, I'll be the outsider. I'll get Silhas.
Okay. Fernando, who?
Oh, meu, é Silas. Não tem H.
That's what I said. Silhas.
Silas.
Silas.
Yes, because there's no A's.
Oh, I heard Danny Saldanha's on a free, so maybe we'll get him in.
Yeah, fair enough. Fernando, who would you bring in?
Man, guys, I am so sick and tired. Maybe I'm the outcast on this one of like these new startup coaches and hoping that they have that success at Sporting. Yeah. I don't think that let me put it this way. For the amount of money that we pay Jorge Jesus, we could literally pay another guy half that amount of money and get a guy that we could all probably sit here and agree and say, wow, like we know what he's done. We know what he's capable of. And we don't have to keep going down the list of trial and error. Mm-hmm. If we're going to go that route, I'd like to see a guy potentially like the Faria guy, you know, Mourinho.
Yep. That's why I was looking at about him.
I forgot about him. That was my shout.
I'd be okay with that only simply because he's been with him for so many years that you would think that after that long that he's got to know a thing or two.
Mm-hmm.
Or I think we go back and say, look, if Bruno Carvalho stays and he goes the route of Van Basten or whatever that guy was when he first came in and said that he was bringing him on. I think that's when he didn't win the election the first time.
Mm.
So I
Yeah,
think you have some wiggle room with the amount of money you pay Jorge Jesus to really pay a dude half that amount, even though it's a good bit of money, and get yourself a really good, talented coach that I think has the
yeah,
experience and can bring it. What we want is that title.
absolutely. If it's a Portuguese coach, I'd go with Rui Faria. Absolutely, he's on top of my list. Him and then probably Rui Jorge. Just because of what he's done with this the U21 team, the national team. So I know he can come in and kick off our youth team. I
Yeah.
think that would be great. But if it was an outsider and not a Portuguese coach, I've been saying it and I'm going to keep saying it. It would be Julian Nagelsmann from
Nagelsmann. Yeah.
Hoffenheim. The dude's an absolute beast. I mean, he's put Hoffenheim on the map. It's freaking Hoffenheim. And they finished third in the Bundesliga. I mean, he just keeps doing better and better, and he's a young coach.
Hmm.
And I'm pretty sure this man can come in and in his first year get at least third place. Um, Pretty much, I feel like anyone can. You can hire me. I'll get us third place at least. Um, so that would be my take, man. We'll see how it goes, but I definitely don't see JJ as the coach in the future. So let's change gears here, guys, into a little bit of sad news that we got. Um, 50 fans, I believe it was 50, right? 50
Yep.
fans
Yep.
broke into the academy where the players were training. I've seen the videos. I'm not sure if you guys. I'm pretty sure everyone's seen the videos. It's been everywhere.
Yep.
Uh, when I first heard it, I swear I thought it was fake news, man. I thought it was. I thought I was like, oh, here we go again. Benfica fans having a field day. Probably like another fake news story. And then I went on Twitter and did some digging, and it turned out to be true. I was devastated. It was heartbreaking. As frustrating as things are, as frustrating as things have gotten, I don't think violence is ever the answer. I think that's just pure stupidity. And what pisses me off even more is, seeing the fans of, all these other clubs in Portugal saying, this is why Sporting fans are this and that. And, my thing to them is, those 50 pieces of shit aren't anywhere remotely close to what a Spartanista is in my eyes or what we are. Um, Unfortunately, there's always that bad group in every fan base. It's not just us; it's everyone worldwide. You always have those bad apples. So that's my take on it. It's just a sad situation. Danny, I'm gonna let you go ahead. Give me your thoughts on it.
Yeah, it was disgusting. I agree with what you said. At first, I thought it was just a joke. I mean, this week started off with lies after lie after lie from the media, saying that we suspended Jorge Jesus when that wasn't true, saying that the players didn't want to play the final, even though that wasn't true. We denounced that. Then the handball corruption thing came out. We denied that. And then this took place. I thought it was another lie. I thought like many Sportingistas, there's no way this is Sporting fans coming in and ruining this. Like you said, violence is never the answer, but this just made a bigger problem. I don't know, like if these guys truly love their club, like they say they do, why would this even be a thought of like attacking your players? I remember a few years back when we were in seventh, or at that time we were in like 10th, and there was an adeptu or somebody from the clock going up to Godinho Lopes. The best he did was shove him. I mean, and again, violence isn't the answer, but I thought then and there you would clock him in the face. Last season was 10 times worse than this season. We were out of everything by January. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It doesn't make sense. You have a final in 5-6 days. I don't understand what went through these people's minds, why they did what they did. People quickly put the blame on Bruno Carvalho. Listen, he has some of the blame. He has to have some of the blame. Even if he had said nothing and this happened, he'd have to have some of the blame because he is the leader of this team. He's the head of this club, and he has to be. He has to be. Sorry, my girlfriend's annoying me right now. He has to be. He has to be accountable for this. It happened under his watch, so he has to be accountable for this. But I think alongside the bad results, it was the media that really truly fueled this fire under everybody, out with lie after lie, and now even now coming out with corruption scandals that I know we'll get into, whether true or not. But it's a combination of things. It can't just be placed on one man, but it's an absolute disgrace. I hope the proper actions. I hope that Portugal has the Portuguese cops and judicial system have do the right thing. They put these 50 guys behind bars. I don't know if they've caught every single one of them. Do you know if they have, or all 50, or is it still like 40 something?
No, not yet.
No,
they still not everybody, eh?
Mm-hmm.
I hope they quickly find who was accountable for who did this, make them accountable, have them arrested, have them taken out of if it's a clock, have the clock taken out, have them banned from Sporting stadiums, from every Sporting games, from every stadium in Portugal, if possible, every stadium in Europe, because these are scum. They put the team that they love in jeopardy, and they've made this team an embarrassment and a laughingstock, not only in Europe but of the world. And it's a joke. And then attacking Bas Dost, who
exactly.
I mean, you want to
that's
hug
our
the
offense.
guy. You don't want to fuck him up. It's
a
disgrace. Seeing him in tears, or seeing tears come down his eye. I showed my girlfriend. My girlfriend even said she was tearing up. Like it's an absolute joke. A joke.
Yeah, it was definitely a sad situation. Steph, give me your take on it.
It was an embarrassment. These 50 individuals that attack our players, they don't deserve to be called Sportingistas. They pieces of shit. They're radicals. There's radicals in every club. They don't belong into the sport universe. They must be banned forever from sporting installations. The stadium, they must be stripped of their socios, their attachment to Sporting. I hate what happened. Blaming Bruno Carvalho, it's stupid. So people questioning the security at the academy. Well, let me give you this perspective. Throughout years, nothing went on. So they were very relaxed. They had one guy with a flashlight, not doing much, just checking who's coming in, who's going out. That's all he did, the one individual. Nothing ever happened because people forget the academy está lá no meio de nada, a campo. It's nothing. There's no traffic, nothing going on. So these 50 individuals, they planned it out pretty good. They knew how many security guards at the academy. They knew the defense line. They knew where to go in and where to go out. They studied this really well. So saying that we left the doors open purposely and we only had the bare minimum security at the academy, it's bullshit, guys, because nothing ever happened in the past. The only time they beefed up security, it's when we had an important game, either a Sporting Benfica of the under 19 or Sporting Benfica or Sporting Porto of the B team. It's the only time they increase the security. If you go to Estádio Alvalade, there's no security now because there's nothing going on. So they'll beef it up when it's needed. So I think people sometimes they don't think they don't think at all. Maybe it's because I'm in law enforcement. I think a little bit more into detail, but these guys, they had the upper hand. They studied the whole thing pretty good. It wasn't done in the morning. Oh, vamos fazer isto. No, this has been planned for a while.
I mean, it's like a terrorist attack. It's pretty
exactly.
Much it's planned out. It's a terrorist attack.
It's what it is. And the only way out for Sporting Club Portugal in dissolving this goddamn mess with these stupid 50 fans, which they symbolize a 0.001 of the 3.5 millions of Sportingistas, which they really nothing. It's to charge them with felonies, whatever they deserve, strip them do cartão de sócio, and never let them go back to the academy, any sporting games. They done with Sporting. They're not Sportingistas, these guys. They fucking bullshit people, bastards. I'm so pissed because how dare you touch our players? I was upset. I was upset with our players, but I put comments on Twitter. I put comments maybe no Record on a bola because there's space for that. You put comments on Facebook, or you discuss that with you guys. offline, and I call you guys. Oh, I'm upset about Sporting.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's the extent of it. When you cross that very fine line, then you're no longer a rational person. All these people, to finish it up, to wrap it up, they must go to jail, must go to court, and they must pay a high price. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if they go to jail for 5-6 years. They should go to jail for 5-6 years. Do not touch our players. You do not touch our players, even if you piss at them. I was pissed at them. I didn't buy a ticket to Lisbon and try to kick their asses.
Yeah, it's just stupidity.
So that's my take. That's my opinion. All these 50 individuals, which we know that it's not Benfica, it's not Porto. Let's get that out. But I don't like when people mix shit up. It was members. They found out from Juventude Leonina. So there it is.
And just quickly, my last point on this too is the worst thing that these guys did was ruin our good name of our academy. I mean, if you really ask internationally, what is Sporting known for? It's Cristiano Ronaldo in our academy, and now doing what they did at the academy. I was listening to Sporting160's podcast earlier, and I think it was Zed. He made this great point. You talk to one of the parents of the kids that are going to come, and you say, they're going to stay here at the academy, and we're going to teach them all of this and that. Academia. You mean the same one that blah 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 blah? Yeah. I mean, it's just it was stupid in everything. It ruins everything.
Listen, to finish it up, I'm just going to say something. I know it's a little bit hard for the Portuguese culture to listen to this, mas tem que ouvir, foda-se. Isto vai ao racha. We don't need clocks, caralho. We don't need clocks. Look at here in the United States. Do we have clocks? No. We have fans. That's all. They go to the stadium and they watch the games. You go to a 76, I'm a 76ers fan. That's why I'm saying 76ers. You go to a 76ers fan, não tem curva sul, com adeptos e o caralho. No, you go as a fan. Stop with the clocks. We don't need them for shit. When you create these clocks, to me, é grupo organizado de criminosos. All of them have felonies. If not all of them, the majority. I'm not going to say all of them.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a great point, Steph, because if you look here at the United States, I've gone to many sporting events. We're all pretty civilized for the most part. Now, Warrington, you have one or two idiots, and sometimes you'll talk smack to like an opponent, but that's normal. It never gets to the point where there's a stabbing or I've even went to the Argentina El Salvador game a couple years back, and the most that happened was my friend got a beer thrown at him. It is what it is. We flicked him off. It is what it is. It's whatever. We moved on. But I mean, this is just ridiculous.
O Sporting não tem que ter medo que se não tem claques não vai para a frente. The normal Sportingistas will still go see the games, and we don't need claques. Seriously speaking, I'm telling you, we do not need claques at all. You see the big clubs without claques. They don't have, does Manchester United have a claque?
Well, those guys in England,
I think England got rid of the ultras because of clock. But England got rid of it because of the hooligans.
Exactly, and now we are the hooligans.
You can argue that it takes away some of the magic, but at the end of the day, I kind of agree. I agree with you. I agree with you.
Leva uma corneta e começa a tocar, se queres mágico.
I'm gonna say this, guys.
Fernando, give me your take. Yeah, man, give me your take on the whole situation.
I can take it or leave it when it comes to the clocks. I'm gonna be completely honest. It's kind of what we see as kids growing up, right? You see how passionate they are, but as you grow up, you get mature, right? You hope to mature, and you hope that people do the same, and you would hope that the situation that occurred doesn't occur. You can't think that it's ever going to occur. A situation like that is something that you can't even sit at home and fathom and think, epa, isso dia vai acontecer. Like, no, because it never happened. You can't see it happening. So I can take it or leave it with the clocks. In the best case scenario, we know what good the clocks bring to the atmosphere into the stadium. Worst case scenario, we just witnessed it, and now we're disgusted, humiliated, embarrassed, frustrated, and we're laughing stock in a sad way that there's people that still use this as a laughing stock, mostly our rivals. Now, what happened as a whole, there's a couple things that crossed my mind, guys. First and foremost, I think it was you, Steph, that said, and I apologize if it wasn't you. I promise I'll remember all your guys' names. But they approached the Academia. They approached those grounds like they knew it from the back of their hands.
Yes.
When you and I'm also a criminal justice dude. You know, I that's my area of fortitude. So when you approach a place like that, like an organized terrorist attack, you know what to expect, when to expect it, who should be there, who shouldn't be there.
How many security guards?
Exactly. They did what they did, and they did
studied well. Yep.
So what that leads me to believe, guys, and maybe you guys have your opinion on this, and I hope I hear, but there's only been one president that I can recall from even looking back through history that has had a relationship, if you will, not even just a good relationship. I'm talking about a basic relationship with any kind of claques no Sporting, and that's Bruno Carvalho. No other president in Sporting that I can recall was so friendly and knew these guys by a first name basis and has them probably with a little star on his cell phone, like the favorites list, like Bruno Carvalho. We know his relationship with claques. Now, I'm not insinuating that he did something like some journalists have gone that route, but it's something to consider and something to think about. When he has that kind of relationship with them, they trust him, they probably look up to him and vice versa. And he, before being president, did sit with, did chant with, and did enjoy games with the claques. Now, whether that's more Juveleo or Torcida Verde or so forth and so on, I don't know. And it's irrelevant at this point. They say that they're from Juveleo. But these guys were organized. These guys knew what they were going to do, and these guys planned it. That's frightening. That's disgusting. And that leads me to believe that somebody inside had a motive. Somebody inside set it up in a way that allowed it to happen. I mean, they're even saying that Bruno Carvalho was supposed to be there at certain hours and then suddenly didn't show up at that time, only showed up later after everything that happened. We know his relationship with these guys, and then we know that they're part of the Juveleo. Like everyone here has said, they need to go to jail. They need to go to prison. Hopefully, Portuguese Justiça takes care of that. If for some reason they don't, or if and when they come out, Sporting needs to eliminate them. They are a nothing to Sporting. We shouldn't even acknowledge them. Just make sure that we put them on a wall of shame if we want to go the route of acknowledgement, so they don't even think about going back into that stadium. And we're going to have to try as a family to move on from what had happened. We cannot see players get hurt. We cannot see young kids who are the future of our club have to tell mom and dad that they don't think they want to take their talents to Alcochete.
Yep.
And we can't have those things culminate and sit there and be what it is. That's not us. It's never been us. But with that being said, earlier this year, guys from Guimarães did the same thing. I don't know if you guys recall that, but guys,
of course,
dirty dudes approached.
But Guimarães is not as big as Sporting.
Exactly. So you know, we know that, but that's what pisses me off at the end of this, right? So as I remove myself from the embarrassment and the disgust that occurred, I get pissed off royally at the biased journalism that is Portugal.
Oh, and absolutely.
All of Portugal has been talking about what happened at Sporting when Guimarães got maybe, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and a little half a page on the bola?
Yeah, that's all they got because they're not a significant team, you know. And listen, you know, everything that you said, I totally agree with you. And just to add into it, if we think Bruno Carvalho was the one that fez a encomenda, like some people are saying, but let's not forget that the people saying that is a baller.
Oh, and yeah, of course.
Of course. So you know, take it with a grain of salt. Okay.
Eu não acredito. I really, truly don't want to sit here and say, I think Bruno Carvalho fez an encomenda. However, I have a bad feeling that Bruno de Carvalho was aware of something that could possibly been happening. And it's like they say in the States, you know what I mean? If you have a knowledge that something like that is going to occur or anything that you can do to prevent it but choose not to, you're just as guilty. If your
statement, if that's true, I'm going to tell you something. She said, Fernando, if that's true, then he's in trouble because it says 50 people. Somebody will sing like a canary.
Absolutely.
He's in trouble.
Oh yeah, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out within the next week.
Yeah.
It's gonna keep coming out.
It just
Yeah.
doesn't make sense, guys.
I was telling these basichistas that were telling me it was Bruno Carvalho. It doesn't make sense for it to be him because, like many of these pundits have said on TV as well, after Sporting, the players will have a job. After Sporting, Jorge Jesus will have a job. After Sporting, what is Bruno Carvalho doing? Nothing. If he is truly responsible for this, he's not only fucked up his own career and he's fucked up his whole life. His reputation, everything.
You know what to the extent I feel like
that's why I don't believe he did it. Go ahead, my bad.
He did it, but I think that he sat at home. I think that Mustafa picked up his phone. That's my worst case scenario. Mustafa picked up his phone, hit him up, and said, "Listen, man, we got guys that are pissed off at what's happening. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna show up, we're gonna roll up, and we're gonna cuss at them a little bit. We're gonna ruffle their feathers from outside. We're not gonna touch them. We're gonna do what we've done before, and that's it." And I think maybe he took that as you know what? That's good because I've tried to get my message across in the past. I've been punished by the media. I've been punished by fans. You guys do what you need to do. Maybe he was misunderstood. Maybe these guys took it too far. Obviously, they took it too far. But maybe that kind of message of hostility and anger and frustration. And I think the culture that he's established, right, not ignoring the good, but the culture that he's established that it's okay to tell these dudes, listen, man, vocês ganham muito dinheiro. Stop fucking around and start winning games because that's what you're paid to do and you're capable of it, has been taken too far for some guys, and they don't know when the line needs to stop at. And I'm scared that that's the case. I don't really think he said, hey, man, go fuck them up and do a good job. No. But I think that there's a good possibility he had knowledge that something was going to occur, and he chose to seclude himself, to remove himself from the situation. And now I think that little interview he gave, guys, I don't know what you think about it, but that interview he gave, and I know that the media takes his quotes out of context, but the fact that he goes, there's another day and shit like this happens all the time, and tomorrow's another day, dude.
He was kind of chill about it. I agree. I did see the interview. Yeah.
We know shit like that happens every day, and we know that shit is going to be a new day. But that doesn't happen every day in soccer, my friends. That happens in the Middle East, and that happens in a war zone, and that happens in places that we know military's there, not in a soccer training camp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well,
we're gonna find out.
Yeah, we're gonna find out if he knew this much, like you're saying, Fernando. Well, you don't know that too, but you just say maybe this was a scenario, the speculation. Then he's fucked because out of 50, somebody will squeak. It was uncalled for. You don't touch our players.
He had the look of dejection. He had that look of, I think he finally realized he hit that, but he had the look of the guy who says, shit, I've stayed too long. I've become the enemy. I've become, my worst enemy, and he is his worst enemy.
Yeah.
That's the vibe I got, gentlemen. That's the vibe I got. It made me uncomfortable watching it because I think that we all here have supported and defended him for many, many weeks.
So, for years, ever since he's gotten in.
Ever since 2013, yeah.
I still kind of defend him because I don't think he should get all of this blame. But I don't know. He to me he looked broken because of the situation. I don't think he looked. We'll see. It's very possible. There are rumors that we were supposed to have a meeting yesterday and then he never showed up and that took place. So it very well, it could have been it, but I don't know. He looked more like there's no way I'm coming back from this.
Of course not. And today's
fans kicked me out.
Today's statement released by Sporting, the thing that Marta Soares convocou, the Assembleia Geral de Urgência, that says everything. That statement should have been made yesterday, guys. That statement should have been made immediately after. It doesn't take a bunch of older guys to get together in a group and go, I think this is bad, and I think we fucked up. If anything, they need to say, look, tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, no importa cuando, right after the Taça Portugal, win or lose, I don't see people celebrating if we win. We need to get together, and socios are going to say and speak their minds, and that's it. We're getting to the bottom of it.
Yep.
Yeah. Absolutely.
General
Yeah.
election is coming, I think.
Well, we
No
shall
doubt
see.
about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the next
So
step.
guys, to add more fuel to the fire, I guess you can say,
Dale.
uh, we have now been added with corruption scandals apparently, um,
I want
involving
my
the
money back.
involving the handball team, and then also involving 6 games for for our soccer team. I know one of them was the Guimarães game as far as paying off their players. Um, Again, this is another one where it fucking breaks my heart because something that I've always said, that brings me great passion in being Sportingista is we're usually never in the headlines for this type of news, for these type of corruption scandals going on. And to see, the name of the club that I love so much being involved in corruption, it sucks. It hurts. I hate it. I can't stand it. It's a reason why I hate Porto and Benfica so much. And now the fact that we're kind of in that same bubble. Now, not anything has been proven, of course. We'll have to wait and see. But, just the fact that there are these rumors out there, it sucks. It hurts. I hate it. I can't stand it. Fernando, I'm going to let you get in on this first. Give me your take.
It's man, it's like that one moment that you're lost for words because, like you just said, this is not us. We can go 50 years, 100 years. We could sit here and have kid after kid after kid and tell our kids, hey, guys, we're never going to win another Portuguese title again. But we love our team so much, and we're going to keep selling out, buying out every seat at the stadium. But we do it the right way, and we do it each and every way that way. And now suddenly, it's not the right way. Suddenly, it's this win-at-all-cost mentality. And, guys, at the end of the day, if this happened, we can't even get corruption right. So,
I know we corrupted our way to third place.
If in fact we did do this shit, we suck so bad that we can't even corrupt somebody the right way and win from it. So what comes from it, right? Os outros ganham, and we can say, hey, man, but you won those titles because of Apito Dourados and Frutas and Melões. And others say, hey, you possibly won because you give out vouchers and jerseys and, sweet talk these refs in the hallways before the game. But if it's true, and we agree it's true, and we think that's happened to them, but they at least won something out of it, fuck's sake. And then we don't win shit, and then we still do it.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I was actually, and I'm going to tell the truth, guys. I was actually taking a shit and thinking about that.
That's the best time to think, man, is when we're more sossegados.
Emil,
I hope you wiped.
I think I did. No, but finish, Fernando.
It's mind blowing, guys. It's just mind blowing. The stars don't line up, right? Nothing makes sense, and suddenly we got this Andres Geralds guy that I think we've all seen some memes or we've all read some jokes. The guy doesn't even seem to smile or frown. He just looks straight ahead. He's a wall, and he's the dude who suddenly has his hands in every sport that we participate in, right? Every modalidad. And suddenly there's 6 games. And not only that, guys, we're Sporting. We are all shit. If tomorrow they come out and say the Sporting is going to have a who can cut my grass the fastest team,
I'm signing up.
In it, I'm going to be on TV or watching because it's Sporting. I don't give a fuck what they play in. I want them to win. And our handball team, supposedly, right, the team who's been doing well, not the main senior soccer team, but the handball team, the stuff that actually brings trophies to Sporting, is what? Bicampeão, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And they supposedly pay Benfica, the rival. That's to me.
Not Benfica. The referee.
The referee, exactly. I'm sorry, I apologize. The referee to lean that way to help Benfica get that victory. I think they won 29-28 because it would help Sporting stay in first place.
Uh-huh.
So we all know that if there's one thing that Bruno Carvalho loves the most is to hate Benfica.
Exactly.
Which is why this doesn't make sense.
Exactly. At all. A gente nem a Malha nem o Berlim quer que o Benfica ganhe.
Never, ever.
And now we're paying off the referees to guarantee a victory. And they had to
which we don't even need.
And they had to time it perfectly. 29-28. I mean, fucking A, Anyway, finish your thoughts, buddy.
That's it, bro. It's that. It's like part of me says, obviously this is bullshit because we don't need it. We've never done it. And obviously, look at on ball, guys. We don't need it, right? And then the other side of me goes, but damn, we haven't won a Liga Portuguesa in 16 years. I'm 27 years old. I've celebrated 2 titles, and my dad's 63, and he celebrated maybe like 4. That's just depressing. You know what I mean? And like, I don't want that to keep happening. You know what I mean? I want to celebrate with my dad and win titles. So I'm like, did they really stoop to that level and said, fuck it, we're going to have to win at all costs? I hope not. I'm scared. The Justiça Portuguesa seems to be moving very quickly. Their guys are, we were talking about before the show started, but the guys look like they're, in jail in Porto or something, being listened to and go through the due process. I just hope the best, expect the worst at this point, and with everything happening, I'm truly expecting the worst, guys.
Yeah, I'm literally shitting myself. It's fucking terrible. But Steph, go ahead.
Okay, so basically, let me bring some light into this whole confusion so people have a better understanding of what's really going on. Basically, Andrés Geraldes, which is the manager of our soccer team, or in football team, in better terms, but in America we call it soccer. A year ago, he was the manager of the Modalidades. So what they're saying is, apparently, his right arm is Paulo Silva. So this Paulo Silva is saying that he would be the one calling certain players and certain referees. Well, in handball, Paulo Silva said on WhatsApp, and it's online already. Certain, I don't even know why it's online and how it's online when it's supposed to be no segredo da justiça. That's what blows my mind. So they saying that this Paulo Silva would get in touch with people via WhatsApp, which, number one, let's say I'm a player from Team A. I don't want to say names. And then he gets in touch with me. Do you think me as a player, I would be stupid enough to get in touch with him via WhatsApp? I'm asking you guys.
No.
No, it's terrible. It just doesn't make sense.
Okay, so do you think I would be dumb enough for me in the 21st century? Do you think?
I mean, you got to be really stupid, or
naive. Do you think I would be stupid enough to actually talk to you on the phone? Because you can
not even on the phone.
Yeah, because as we speak now, our conversation is being recorded via YouTube. Am I right?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We got people listening in.
Okay, so let's say I'm talking to you.
Shout out to them.
And you don't exactly. Let's say I'm talking to you about private things, okay? But you don't really know me, because this Paulo Silva, apparently he called João Aurélio do Guimarães, which a few minutes ago he put out a statement saying he's not guilty, and he never spoke to this guy before, and he never accepted money, and he's not a corrupted player. This is the one player, the center back João Aurélio from Guimarães. They said he purposely let Sporting win on the foolish plays when Guimarães lost 5-0 at home against Sporting, like in the first round of the games. So these players are smart. I mean, nowadays this is the 21st century. If you want to be involved in corruption, what would you do? You would talk to someone face to face. You're not going to talk to them via WhatsApp or via phone, because especially when you know that it's going to involve corruption. So that's why I think this whole thing is bullshit. If you go on Record or Sábado or Correio da Manhã, you'll see screen pictures of the WhatsApp. I could create that now.
Anyone can. Absolutely.
Yeah, I could change the names and put Rui Vieira, Paulo Gonçalves, having a conversation.
You know what? We should do one.
Well, no, we're not going to do that because
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I know you're kidding, but you don't know who's listening. But you know what? We're not going to do that because we're better people and we're busy with our lives anyway. But So the screenshots is bullshit. And if you listen to they said there's conversations. If you listen to the conversations, it seems like it's in a studio. Listen to the background. Listen to the detail. It looks like it's so fabricated. I don't know if the PJ is as advanced as the FBI because they could recognize the voices. I don't know, maybe. But so far, everything seems like fucking bullshit. Where's the transactions, the money transactions? You know what I mean? So all that, it's very foggy, and that's why we should chill. Let the PJ do their job. Let's not jump into conclusion, you know. But let me tell you who was arrested, or who was called for questioning, not arrested. André Geraldo was called for questioning. Now there's 3 more names. There's Paulo Silva, João Gonçalves, and Gonçalo Rodrigues. Why those 3? Because those 3 worked with André Geraldo. That's why they were called, which makes sense. If you think André Geraldo did something, who's closest to him? Paulo Silva, João Gonçalves, Gonçalo Rodrigues. So sou a PJ, I'm going to call those 3 guys because those 3 guys are the ones that talk to André Geraldo on a daily basis. So it makes sense that the PJ called those 4 individuals because they were close together. They were from the same department. You didn't see them calling Marta Soares. You didn't see them call o Bruno Carvalho ainda. You know what I mean? So just to give you a little bit of history behind it, the 6 teams that said that the corruption existed was Guimarães, Feirense, Chaves, Tondela, Aves, and Estoril. I did a little bit of research on it. I went to see the scores of the 3 teams. Porto, against the 6 teams, won all the games. All of them. Didn't even lose 1 game. So if I'm in the PJ, I'm going to look at Futebol Clube Porto. They didn't even lose 1 point. Nada. O Benfica perdeu jogo contra o Tondela em casa. And we lost 1 game against o Estoril. So now, if you want to be a proper PJ in Portugal, you got to investigate all 3 big teams. Because all of the 6 games they're talking about, 6 times 2 is 12 games. All the 3 have benefited almost by the same points. And some games Porto won by 5-0, 6-0, 4-2,
I mean,
4-1, and Benfica as well. They won by a lot.
I mean,
of goals.
we could sit here and with that point, we could sit here and go, shit, that Estoril game for Porto. If that thing doesn't smell bad from all the way where I'm at in Charlotte, I don't know what does.
Exactly. I was about to get into that, but you know,
if Benfica's game against Belenenses when shit was going bad and they suddenly have an extra 5-10 minutes and get that tie, does it smell bad? I don't know what does. So exactly what you said. If they're gonna go this route, then they need to say, "Olha, o futebol português está podre. Everybody's podre."
Yeah.
Look, and the only way to find out is to literally
go to
detail by detail and go through each and every one of them.
Look, just to give you a snapshot, o Porto, Guimarães, Porto, o Porto ganhou 1-0. Porto, Ferreirense, they won 2-1, Porto. Porto, Aves, they won 2-0. Chaves, Porto, they won 4-0. Porto, Tondela, they won 1-0. Estoril, Porto, they won 3-1, the game you were just talking about. Estoril, Porto, Guimarães, they won 4-2. Porto, Chaves, 3-0. Tondela, Porto, they won 1-0. Porto, Estoril, they won 4-0. Okay? Now, Sporting. Chaves, Sporting 2-1, and we know how we got lucky to win that game. Feirense, Sporting Feirense 2-0. Estoril, Sporting. Estoril won 2-0. Sporting Guimarães, we won 1-0, barely. Guimarães, Sporting, that was the first game, we won 5-0. Sporting Tondela, 2-0. Sporting Aves, 3-0. Sporting Chaves, 5-1. Feirense, Sporting, we barely won 3-2. Sporting Estoril, we barely won 2-1, and then Guimarães, I already said it. Then SLB, just for you guys to have a sense of it. Estoril, Benfica, 2-1, ganhou Benfica. SLB, Guimarães, ganhou Benfica, 2-0. Feirense, SLB, 2-0 Benfica. Benfica, Aves, 2-0 Benfica. Benfica, Chaves, 3-0 Benfica. Tondela, Benfica, 5-1 Benfica, 3-1 Estoril, Benfica, 3-1 Guimarães, Benfica, 1-0 feirense, Benfica. Aves, Benfica 3-1. Chaves, Benfica 1-0. And they lost the game against Tondela. So how did Sporting benefit from corruption? And like you said, and we finished third place. Vamos pro caralho.
Yeah, exactly, bro. And let's not forget back to that fucking Porto Studio game. They won what they won in one half. In one half, começa logo a segunda parte and resolve já o jogo.
Foi logo.
And we sat here. I'm pretty sure that we all on Twitter, and I'm pretty sure we all follow each other. If not, I'll make sure we do. But I was sitting there. We're all like, all right, how many minutes, guys, until Porto resolve esta merda like to start the half and we can go back to our lives?
Right.
The fact that we can sit here and think that and know that, what the hell?
And then let's not forget what happened a week before that game. Porto paid Ristoril how much? 500,000, 550,000, and they said
the transfer. Yeah.
They said it was a late payment that they had to pay them.
Yeah, late payment.
Yeah, but crazy timing.
We don't need to investigate that though. That's cool. Just sweep it under the rug. It's fine. Normal news.
Yeah, it's just $500,000 with a little extra interest rate.
But I must say, to finish my point of view about this, I must say, let's say Sporting is guilty. If we are guilty, we have to kick all these people that's involved in corruption out of our club. And then we have to deal with the consequences. This is the way I am. I'm Sportingista, but if my club is caught in the mix of corruption, let's face the consequences. Kick everybody out. If we have to be demoted to the second division or whatever it is, then we will be.
We'll pack our stadium out in the second division anyway.
We'll celebrate a title.
No importa. It is
what it is.
You know what? But you know what's going to happen?
I'm just saying, man.
But you know what's going to happen? Sadly to say, but most of the modalities will be gone. We'll have
because you're going to lose that. Yeah.
Well, most of of our youth will lose because we have youth in basketball, swimming, in handball, in our youth soccer. We have a lot of teams. It's not only our under-19 and juvenis and iniciados. A equipes de iniciados BC, juvenis BC, juniors BC. So we're going to affect a lot of the community in Lisbon. A lot of these.
But regardless, fuck it. If we get caught of it, that's what it has to be. We'd be hypocritical to say that Benfica has to go down because of corruption, and if we're caught, we have to go down too.
That'll never happen.
Juventus, for them. I have a way to, I kind of care for them just a little bit because I have some friends who are fans of them. But regardless, they were punished. They stripped them of titles. And not only that, they said, you're going to stay in the Serie B for, what was it, 2 years? Regardless
No,
if
it was
you
just
win
a year.
or not.
It was just a year, but they got deducted of points on top of that.
Yes.
And the 3 titles, right? Stripped from them? 3
and to the 3 titles, correct.
They were not given 20, but that's a good thing. They can't strip us any titles. We don't have it.
Hey, no, the good thing about this is we're in Portugal, and the good thing about this is we're in Portugal, and the Pinturada didn't get stripped of anything. It was just a few points taken away.
But
so that's probably what we're going to be expecting, anyways.
Yeah, if we're caught. I hate to say, Danny, I hate to say, but I agree with you because we're going to be like os benfiquistas e os portistas. Epá, isto não foi nada.
Mas espera.
Até que não esteja nada provado, não é nada, man.
I'll say this, man. This really scares me, man. I wish it was the case. Mas eu tenho aqui por dentro, to me, bro, like it's inside of me, this bad feeling that we all can sit here and agree that the media does not like us. They haven't liked us.
No, they hate us.
Like us. They won't like us. And obviously,
they hate us even more now because of Bruno.
And they hate him. With that being said, não acredito, and we talked about that a little bit before the show, que eles não vão querer fazer, to make an example of Sporting, that they're going to love the opportunity to say, you know what? Look, there is corruption in Portugal. Let's make an example of them. They're not the golden child of Portugal right now, right? Porto has been since the 80s to the 2000s and so forth. Benfica has turned it around. Those 2 teams are what people outside of Portugal know of Portugal. Shit, we're Sporting Lisbon to the rest of the world, guys.
Yeah, it's true. It's sad, but it's
fucking Lisbon, and that's not even in our name. It's Benfica Lisbon because.
Oh, Steph, it looks like we lost him again. I don't know what's going on with them. Steph, are you still here?
Yeah, bro, they didn't pay the bill.
Oh,
I don't know why
it's-
they did it, guys, but I don't see how they can. I don't know why the hell that keeps happening, man. I just
You don't
can't
pay
Yeah,
the
I
get
don't
bill,
know.
bro.
It's
You don't pay the
you and
bill.
Danny. Y'all need to pay the bills.
for listen. I just bought a whole new router system. Listen, bullshit.
Yeah, they complain.
Oh, so it's not just me, eh?
It's not just you, bro. It's
Hey, you know,
Okay, good.
do you have a Canadian provider or something?
I hope not, bro.
I just changed
I'm-
providers, bro.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like I truly don't see how then they were going to punish the likes of Porto, because those were the glory teams that were putting Portugal on the map in terms of soccer. Those were the teams that everybody was like, "Epa, olha esse gajo, the special one, the José Mourinho's winning all of this. Epa, Portugal has a team that can win and compete." And then Benfica now recently, epa, tem uma equipa que chega à final da Liga Europa 2 anos seguidos, blah, blah, blah.
And they
then
have the
quem é
most amount of
Sporting?
fans too.
You know what I mean? That scares me. And I think that they're going to do everything they can to do an example out of us, because they got nothing to lose at that point.
Okay, but okay. So Fernando, you did say you into the judicial system.
Yes.
Am I right? Okay,
Yes, correct.
So now let's look at it this way. Everything that's going on with the Sporting, with the PJ, it's very normal. So I make a phone call and I say, "Hey, I know that Fernando he worked for Sporting. I overheard this guy saying they bought this, and that. A polícia judiciária, they have to act upon it. They have
Correct.
to. Okay? Correct, so far. So then they're going to gather everything they can. First thing they did, okay, André Geraldes and those three guys I just mentioned a little while ago, they got them. Now they asking them questions, relevant questions. They went to their houses and they went to Sporting offices to gather information, okay? They've done all that with Benfica. They've done all that too. The same way. Then it goes to the judicial system. Then it goes to proceedings. Now the Sporting lawyers, like the Benfica lawyers, they the ones who will intervene. Now they'll put motions on it and they'll say, "Hey, we need to prepare." And then the judicial system say, "Yeah, okay, you have to prepare, you have to prepare." So then they're going to study and come up with a strategy like the Benfica lawyers did. This will take years. This is like dramatic because it's the beginning of it. But in a couple weeks or a couple days, it's gonna die down. And all we're gonna hear is, "Oh, the processo do Sporting is up to here now," and then it'll die down again. Just we need to get used to it, like os benfiquistas. I hate to say it, but now we're on the same boat. I hate to say it. Os benfiquistas, the only thing they have on us, they have more experience. That's all. So now, so now we're gonna have to be not like the benfiquistas, but get used to it. This is part of our daily routine.
Yeah.
So we need to let our lawyers handle it from this point on, because most of these guys being called, they're not even saying much because the lawyers is next to them. You've seen enough shows on TV,
Of course.
which is like kind of the truth. The lawyer says, "No, don't talk now."
Claro.
But
I don't want to sound like that guy, right? I don't want to be that paranoia fucking dude who goes like, "Epa, todo mundo is out to get us." I don't want to be that dude, right? But of course, that's assuming that everybody does the right thing and everybody looks to the right way and everybody, I guess, follows the oath that they took, that they were going to care about doing the things the right way and not clubismo.
Mm-hmm.
But yet at the same time, you know, we have examples even in the United States back in the day with O.J. Simpson and shit even more serious. And
you got away with it.
And people get away with things all the time. My fear is that esses gajos want to do the right thing, não querem saber, and if they say we're 3.5 million, in Portugal são 11 milhões, os outros são 6.5, right? Then what? That means that two out of every 3 dudes basically pull that nasty red. Like, hey, I don't know, man. I'm hoping everybody does the right thing. I don't want to be that guy, but I'm fearful for that. You know what I'm saying?
But in the court of law, it's really not like that though, because a Sporting a lawyer that represents Sporting, he doesn't have to be Sportingist. He could actually be a Benfiquista and be a good lawyer.
Claro, money talks.
Money talks, exactly. He could say, listen, they could say, well, this guy's guilty because this, and that. And he could say, well, you had the same case with Benfica and Porto, and you dismiss this case exactly the same. And they'll have to dismiss it. That's the way it is. Because if they say, "Oh, Fernando is saying that on this day, this day, this day, the games were bought, and that's all you have," and
Yeah,
then
it's just he say. Yeah.
yeah, the good lawyer will say, "Well, I have this case on such a date. Uh, um, Lisboa, Cidade de Lisboa contra Sporting Lisboa Benfica. It was the same thing, and you say, and it was dismissed. So I'm expecting you to dismiss this case too,
No, I
and
agree.
that's how it's going to be. That's how it is in the judicial
All right.
system.
Yeah. All right. We got to move on, though. We got to move on. We're taking too much time, and I haven't heard from Danny yet. So, Danny, we're going to start off the new segment with you. Basically judging Bruno Carvalho. Do you see him staying? Do you see him going? You yourself, do you want him to stay? Do you want him to go? Give me the lowdown on what you think.
I like him. I still do. However, this is these past 24 hours, 48 hours have been the worst in Sporting history. I don't see how he stays. This happened under his watch. He has to go. For better or for worse, he has to. This is his fault. He's the leader of the team. You know what I mean? So it has to fall on him. He has to go. And I just hope that we don't get a croquette again back in the team to ruin everything. I hope that we can get, I'm not even 100% certain on this guy. There was rumors that maybe Figu would come and elect. I mean, we'll see, I guess, if when elections come. But I personally, I would love for him to stay because I think he's done so much good for Sporting and even the sport. Just quickly on the corruption thing, I don't find that to be true when all the media lies that have been coming out. But if it is true, he has to go, and that's something that a lot of Sporting fans have been saying, and I'm glad we share that point of view. We're not like another team that gets caught in corruption and that president is still in charge.
And
today.
they applaud him, and they
Yep.
they say he's the best president. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and yeah, just I think yeah, he has to go. I don't see how he ever recovers from this. If he does stay by next election, I doubt he'll be voted in again. It's a shame because, like I said, I like the guy. I think he's done a lot of good, but he has to go. He has to go. That's all you, Bruno. I'm done.
He might have had that Canadian internet.
Yeah. Okay. So then I'll put in my 2 cents. O Bruno deve estar ao pé da namorada. She's tough on him. But anyway, so I think Bruno Carvalho, for the time being, he has to stay because who knows better of what's going on than him? If you put a new president, he's going to be in the dark. It's going to take him a while to sort things out. In the long run, I think he's got to go too. This is the final straw, and I don't want to say he's the cause of all of it. No, he's. But as a president, you can be so vocal. You have to contain yourself, and you can just answer everyone about every question just because they don't respond the way you would like them to respond to you. And a position of a president is to delegate, and then you speak when you have to speak, but very few times, not all the time. You should learn with Pinto Costa, a very corrupted president, but look at him, he survived. He survived. So às vezes morrer pela calada, that's the best thing to do. He could still be aggressive to change things in football in Portugal, but he doesn't have to be so vocal. And I think it's too late for him with the attack on the players, with the corruption scandal going on. I'll give him a few months to sort things out. Actually, if he's smart, he would prep somebody to take over his place, and then he would ask to quit uma demissão, and then he would let somebody run the show for him, and he would just he would just quit because he has no support from anybody at this point. I still like him, of course, but it's too late.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I don't know if Bruno left us permanently or what, but in the meantime, I'll chime in and I'll say that I agree with both of you in the overall thought that it's time to go. That's tough for me to say because I have supported him vehemently, passionately for a very long time. I think there's really only two ways to look at this, guys, and there's like the logic way and then there's like the emotional way. Logically, right? If players are done with the team, if players are really considering rescisão justa causa, I don't know anything about the finite, minuscule words in the contracts and how that works. But you would think that a situation that just occurred is probably one of the clauses that says, hey, if you get your ass beat while practicing, you could probably leave for free. We as a club cannot afford, point blank period, to lose players for free. We cannot do that. So the only option to solve that is one man goes and everybody else stays. And if we as Sportingistas say that Sporting acima de tudo, unfortunately, then the players, I'm sorry, but the players are what keeps us afloat in this case. And the president has to go because if it's them or him, right, them or him, I don't see how Sporting recovers, assuming that every or the majority of the fans will still vote for him, which I don't think is the case. Sporting can't recover from losing, they say, approximately 100 million or more in our top 8 talents. They can't recover from that. We can't. And it's much cheaper, como muitas das vezes we say, it's much cheaper to replace the coach than it is to replace os jogadores. It's obviously much cheaper to replace o presidente and how much he makes per month than it is to replace the players. And I'll finish with this. Bruno de Carvalho was the perfect man at the right moment when he came aboard.
Yeah.
Sporting was struggling on all fronts.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say struggling on all fronts, even when I say modalidades, because even the ones we were successful in, now since he's been here, we have brought back a lot more sports that weren't there before he was president, right?
Yeah,
so he was
we
the
have
right man
55 now.
for the right job at the right moment. And Sporting is no longer that same project. Sporting is no longer that same moment. And now I think como uma familia sportinguista, we need a guy who's going to come in, do what you said, which is stop acting like we do when we comment on a bola record because we get pissed off. Don't do what we do because you're president. We do what we do. You sit back, watch, delegate, and respond in a calculated manner.
When needed.
And he's not doing that.
No.
Like I said earlier in the show, he looked dejected. He looked down. He looked defeated. And I think he had that look of like, I let this happen. I screwed this up. And I don't know how I can come back from it. And the only way out is he goes and everybody else rallies around the team. And they have a perfect opportunity on Sunday. That's my take, guys.
It's not going to be good enough because, like you said, if he doesn't leave, we're going to lose millions of euros because the players are hurt and they could actually ask for rescisão. They can say...
And you can't have that happen. That is the ultimate...
Those are guys, just rumors, though. Let's not... None of us are truly contract lawyers.
No. All I'm saying,
let's be real. Those are all just rumors.
Danny, the worst case scenario at this point in time, o Bas Dost could say...
I'm never playing again.
Por razões de segurança of and mine and my family, I don't feel safe anymore. Quero rescindir o contrato. They have it. They already have enough, bro.
Yeah,
I don't think that's enough. That's an off chance.
Okay.
You improve. You can go to court. Listen. We can go to court. We promise to up security, which we obviously will, and boom, that's out of the thing.
But you know, the only way that happens is if these dudes say, and then that man right over there by the name of Bruno Carvalho is not the leader of this team.
If he
listen. I agree with you, and I think that this is what's going to happen is he is going to leave. But if they want to rescind their contract, if they can legally, they will. If they can't do it, then they can't say, well, I'm not going to play unless this president is, or blah, blah, blah. Like, it's in their contract. You have to play.
No, well,
the thing is, the only thing they're going to do is they're going to hand in a transfer request, and they're going to be like, I never want to play under you.
Of course.
And they're going to run. That is fine. They're going to run into a Brand Ruiz.
Yeah, they're gonna run into a Carrillo situation.
Brian Ruiz, yeah.
O Carrillo vai dizer, olha, você
No, but
paga
we'll
o meu
sell them.
salário, you pay me, and I will sit at home and eat Doritos and Cheetos or goldfish. I think.
Give me a personal coach.
The thing is, they have to show up for training. The thing is, they have to show up for training, and if it's not their last year in their contract, they have to play. The only reason that happened to Carrillo was because we punished him, not because Carrillo wanted to stay home.
Yeah, we punished him. You're right about that because we pulled up some bullshit excuses and we punished him. But all I gotta say is to end this conversation on my side, from my side.
Yeah, because we gotta go.
Yeah, I don't have to go. I could stay all night long.
Oh, I could too.
I do, bro. My girlfriend's annoying me.
Yeah, então. Olha, já tá no podcast. Opa, já tá no podcast também. Shit.
That's it.
You made the podcast, baby.
My girlfriend's making brownies. She's like, don't worry, take your time.
Já parecia que aquele gajo estava a mijar no podcast. Okay, listen.
Opa.
But all I gotta say is, if we get a new president and then give the players assurance, listen, we're gonna beef up security. Don't worry about it. Then I think we'll be fine. But some players, they will force to exit. I could see a few players saying, "Listen, you better sell me because I want to get out." And then, it's not. They're gonna suggest it. And we're gonna be forced to sell some players because we're gonna need the money. Because with all this going on, a reputação de Sporting foi para baixo, the brand of Sporting foi para baixo. So we're gonna be.
But we were needing. But before this situation, and this is the last thing I'll say on it, is we needed to sell players anyways because the players let us down and didn't get us the Champions League money.
That too. In addition to that,
so we were going to sell. Whether this happened or not, and I wish this never happened. We would have to sell players. William would have to be I know the rumors were saying that we were going to sell him, but if we didn't want to, we'd have to sell him now because we didn't make Champions League.
Well, yeah,
I didn't want to see Rui Patricio leave, but we have to sell him now because of Champions League.
Oh, of course, and
it's more. Bas Dost, we have to sell him now because of Champions League.
In all honesty, we're gonna call back our players that the ones that on loans, and next year we're gonna have a great team.
Yeah, and and
we're gonna win the league. Like
that's gonna be funny. It's gonna be hilarious when we bring back our loan players and they do better than the players that we have now.
What's sad, guys, is
that would be hilarious.
In a World Cup year where we had the opportunity to just piggyback on such valorization and having these dudes valorizar 2-3 times the amount because they're gonna go to the World Cup, we're gonna probably end up losing 2 to 3 times because teams are gonna say, no, I'm not gonna pay you what you want and what you wanted. Because I know the situation you're in. And at the end of the day, if these guys, let's say they get sold the right way, okay, they get sold, not rescindir contrato. However, if they do rescindir contrato, get ready to see 2 to 3 to 4 of these cats playing in Benfica and Porto. And that's even worse than anything else.
No.
Depends.
No, that's not
William Rui won't be stupid enough. Bruno Fernandes maybe because he's from Porto, but like I said, they're not rescinding. If they were going to rescind their contract, they would rescind it now before the final.
No, because they want to win. They want to win one more title. They look good
for him, for the guy they hate, or for the fans that beat them up.
Well, you know that
if they wanted to rescind their contract,
before the final, because if they bounce before the final, that also shows to future employers, future teams that might want you. Like, come on, dude. Where's your back?
Doesn't matter though. If they're good, they're good. Suarez bit a guy and still got bought by Barcelona.
Yeah, teams are not going to remember care about that.
They don't care.
The only way that we win the Taça de Portugal is a question of pride and to show all Sportingistas, excluding those 50 knuckleheads, that hey, we always play with pride and we gave it all for this jersey. Here it is, a Taça de Portugal, and that's the only. It's a question of pride and a conscience for them, but. It could easily be as well, hey, a gente estamos afetados psicologicamente and that's why we lost. They could use that excuse as well. But anyway, at this point in time, our plantel, our squad lost value. And it's sad to say, but if Bruno Carvalho doesn't leave, we in bad shape. He needs to leave. We need someone that...
or at least make a re-election.
We need someone that's neutral, that goes over there and says, Okay, I wasn't here. I'm here to clean up the club.
Which is exactly what Bruno was previous. Like I said, Bruno was the perfect dude for the perfect time, and now we need another perfect guy for this exact time. And in my opinion, it can't be any of the guys. Nada, this is Pedro Madeira Rodriguez bullshit.
No.
Oh God, he's horrid.
None of these guys who have
He's
been
not winning. He'll never
strategically
win.
waiting on the sidelines for the moment that somebody sneezed and farted so they can jump in.
Exactly.
We can't.
Yeah.
We has to be a complete no-neighbor or somebody that says, you know what, I love this team and I've been watching from afar and it's time to go to work.
Yep. And to end this segment, like in the Batman movie, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And that sadly is exactly what happened to our Bruno.
Yeah.
Okay, listen. All I gotta say to finish it up is the following.
Oh, but I had the last word.
No.
Oh, we still got to do
I'm kidding.
predictions.
I'm kidding.
Epá, tem calma, caralho. Portugal ainda é nossa. Anyway, all this Paul Silva is saying that he spoke to a lot of players. Well, he mentioned one name, João Aurélio do Guimarães. He already said, no, I was never involved, and I'm going to take everyone to court that's talking shit about my name. So now they just blamed recently, a little while ago, a player from Ops. Okay? So don't worry about it, because all these players that this guy will come up with, the players will have a voice and will say something too.
Mm-hmm.
There will have to be, and o João Aurélio said, I'm kind of surprised that the Pijotina não falou comigo, because they blaming me, but Pijotina não falou comigo. Why not? I want to voice my opinion and tell them my 2 cents, because I'm not guilty and I don't like to be involved in this scandal. So let's just relax a little bit, take a step back, let the police judiciary, which I think they do a pretty good job, do their job, and then we'll find sooner or later what's going on.
Yeah, and don't believe everything in the media.
Yeah, don't, because there's a lot of
Take everything with a grain of salt.
How many people do you know that they're really great in photoshopping?
Yep.
Yeah, talented.
So, exactly. So be careful with that. But the bottom line is, se o Sporting é culpado de corrupção, by all means, I'll take the consequences. Fired everyone at Sporting that was involved in corruption, because until they don't do, the day they say A, B, C, D, F was involved in corruption, I'll stop watching the games. I'll stop being a fan until they kick all those people out. I don't want to be a fan for a corrupted club. When they clean the house, then I'll come back nice and strong. I paid my dues until December 2019 anyway. But, you know, I don't want corruption in my club. That's not who I am, and I don't want my club to be involved in corruption. Mas se o Bruno Carvalho está envolvido e o André Geraldo e esses gajos todos para a rua, filhas da puta. Todos.
Exactly. And I agree 100% with everybody here, man. It's you cannot have that being what people think of when they think of Sporting.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, the current generation, current people, whether fans or rivals, don't go far back like we do and know our history and know what we are. The new generation, the new kids, the new talents are always going to think of Sporting as current, of the Ronaldos, of the Quaresmas, the Figos, and currently the Gelsons, etc. And we can't have that being indicative of what Sporting is. Father, man, I just literally, and it's maybe, I don't know, man, I had just paid my fucking cota for the month 3 days ago, and then this shit happens, and it's like, guys, you're killing me because I keep sending you my money because I love you, but please stop doing this. And if they're guilty, they're guilty. It is what it is. We're different than everyone else. We don't win at all costs. We don't want to win at all costs. And if Sporting is guilty of any corruption, bro, you guys want to go to watch Sporting playing Vila Verde for the Distritais? I'll go with y'all. I'm ready to go support them. I don't care where they play and what division.
We'll have the biggest stadium.
Huh?
We'll have the biggest stadium.
Hell yeah. And you know what? Yep. We'll still have like 49,000 people in it.
But
it'll be great.
You know, this is why we're different, because if you ask a Benfiquista, they won't say that.
No, they'll bounce and they'll say that they have nothing to do with the club. If you ask a Benfiquista if they know shit about their futsal team, I'd say about 4 to 5 of them out of 10 will say, "I know Ricardinho," and you're like, he doesn't even play.
No, what I'm saying is, I'm not admitting that Sporting is corrupted or is involved in corruption, but we have actually the intelligence to go above and beyond and say, if we are involved in corruption, we don't mind to take the consequences, and we want all these corrupted people out of the club. You ask that to a Benfiquista Portista, they'll deny everything, and they won't even go that far. If you tell them, "Isso Benfica é corrupto," do you think you should be demoted and the administrators out of the club? They'll say no, because nothing has been proven yet. They don't even want to think about that.
There's a huge difference between our morals, our ideals, and them, and I love it. That's what makes us us, man.
Exception for Cynthia. Cynthia, yes, she did admit that. I like Cynthia. She's an honest Benfiquista. And she did say that if Benfica was found corrupted, that Luis Figueiredo should be kicked out and Benfica should face the consequences. But she's the only one I've heard saying that.
All right, guys, we're going on like 3 hours here, so we need to wrap this thing up. All right, so we got the final. That, as if I know, is still taking place on Sunday. Okay. Give me your guys' quick predictions for the final. Taça de Portugal.
It's gonna be a hard-fought match again. Sorry. It's
No,
gonna be
fine.
another hard-fought match. I think the players are gonna have just enough. It's gonna be 2-1.
2-1. Steph.
I don't know.
It's tough, bro. But we're gonna have to suffer like we normally do. It is Sporting.
I'm gonna go out and say in typical Sporting fashion, we'll either golear and say, "Wow, what is this team? Where'd they come from?" Or we're going to struggle and have to go to overtime and sit there and tweet each other and go like, "Are we doing this again?"
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think they'll either come out and go out in quote unquote glory, and we'll sit here and go like, "Wow." But at the end of the day, I don't even see our fans celebrating in the streets. It's sad. We're not even going to go to the Praça to celebrate. We've already said no to that.
We said no to that, yeah.
So it's going to be a very sad, very unfortunate celebration that the Taça usually is. I believe Sporting will win because fuck it. If I'm not going to think we're going to beat Aves in the final, screw me. But I think that it'll be one way or the other. We'll either golear or we'll struggle and suffer mais uma desilusão.
Guys, I think we're gonna lose. I'm gonna be honest with you. I just don't know how the players are gonna be emotionally. I don't think they're good. I don't know if they're gonna be right in their heads. I don't know if they're gonna have the right.
No, hey, listen.
I don't know what the hell.
Pere Actually, I think we're gonna win 4-0.
4-0. Really?
I'm telling you.
Yeah, you know why?
Why?
Nah.
Because Aves is one of the clubs that apparently então, a gente tem que só chamar.
O pagamento já está lá.
Não é?
We've already paid. If not, let's get the refund.
Hey,
I'm with you, Steph.
If we're that corrupted, let's make sure we win the final, caralho.
Hey, why stop at 4?
No, I think it's going to be a tough game. I don't know if we'll win, but if we do win, I don't think they'll lift the cup.
Yeah, it's gonna.
It'll be interesting to see how the celebrations are for sure. I
just don't. God, I honestly don't see us winning it.
I'm with Bruno on this one.
Sporting has a wonderful opportunity. When I say Sporting, I'm talking more of the fan base. Mm-hmm. We have a wonderful opportunity. A lot of our fans already did this the other night by showing solidarity and going outside at 10 o'clock at night and showing the love and passion that we are Sporting. If we win the game, seja como for, autogolo at the 119th minute, we have the wonderful opportunity to get everybody together and absolutely take over all of Portugal, show exactly who we are, like as if we won o campeonato, and let people know that nada é acima do Sporting.
Agreed.
And that's my hope. That's my hope that we win. And rather than have a very somber, depressed kind of like, well, shit, we won, but obviously we didn't really win the war. We won the battle. Let's show people nothing can derrubar Sporting. Nothing can derrubar what we are as fans. And that's what keeps us together. And that's what makes us love what we do and what we love.
And the players too. They have a golden opportunity to say, listen, you guys are wrong. We always gave you guys 100%, and here it is with this outstanding performance.
Absolutely.
So we shall see. We shall see Sunday.
All right, guys.
I want to make sure that I follow all of you guys after, man. So if I don't, for some reason, if you guys don't mind, hit me up because I truly enjoyed spending this time with you guys.
No, thank you. Thank you for
absolutely,
accepting
Fernando. Thank you.
Thank you for coming on, Fernando. It's been our pleasure, bro.
Okay,
Absolutely. Thank you.
really quickly to all the fans, we have one more podcast and we'll be taking a little break.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
mhm.
We
Go ahead.
also might be covering the World Cup. So
Hey man,
we'll
if
be
you guys
back
need
with
any
that possibly.
if you guys need
We
any
will
like
be,
live
bro.
coverage from Mushkovo or some shit, you let me know. And,
Oh yeah,
You gotta send
that'd
us
be
some
awesome.
clips.
absolutely,
Gotta send
dude,
us some
absolutely.
That'd
I'll
be
actually
dope,
be over
dude.
there with a Benfiquista. He's a good friend of mine growing up. So I'll give
Oh,
you
fair enough.
that live clip.
That's awesome,
Yeah,
man. I'm
there's
excited to
Shit in his
see.
mouth when he's sleeping.
there's nothing wrong with them. My best friends are Benfiquistas and
Oh,
Portistas,
of course
and
not. Of course
they're
not. At the end of the
very
day,
humble people. Yeah,
at the end of the day, we're Portuguese, man. We're
yeah,
Portuguese
exactly.
across the whole world, whether it's United States, Portugal, or wherever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Canadá.
Prontos. Então, olha, viva o Sporting Clube de Portugal.
Viva. Abraço. Thanks,
Sim.
guys.
Take care, guys.
Okay, take
Take
care.
care.
Ciao.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us.